Hello, beautiful conscious creators. So today I want to just jump right into um, what happens when, some of these spiritual thought leaders who we just really looked up to, we find out, well, they're not living a life of transparency and integrity. We saw this, excuse me, with Deepak Chopra recently in the disclosure of the Epstein files, and we saw exactly his correspondence, his participation in that relationship and participation in the life that Jeffrey Epstein was living, and that shook up a lot of people. And I just want to comment on that because he has obviously a lot of followers and he was a very high profile spiritual thought leader. Now, the same thing happened like years ago with Doreen Virtue. Obviously, not the same context, but she shifted her beliefs and what she spoke about and taught about from working with the angelic realm to becoming what I think is more of like a born again Christian, and then denouncing everything it is that she had taught before then. And a lot of people maybe started their journey out following a lot of Doreen Virtue's work, and then when she changed course, that really shook a lot of people up too. And I want to say there's very, very important lessons. It is when it is we realize that somebody, when we're on the spiritual path or journey, that somebody it is that we learn from, who taught us, whatever, um, is not, is not exactly living the life it is that they teach on, or they've changed course, or whatever the case may be. That can be a very kind of jolting experience too. But you have to ask ourselves, well, let me just share a quick example too. So I'm aware of how that feels. There was somebody, a spiritual teacher, who was very instrumental on my path, who actually helped me open up my spiritual gifts when I didn't even realize that I could do that, that those gifts were meant for me, that they were within me. And then my own awareness started to expand, right? My intuition came online. I started hearing spirit, loved ones coming through, etc. So that's a very major life-changing thing to go through. And this teacher was a very instrumental part of that part of my journey. So I really kind of looked up to her, and without knowing it, had put her on a pedestal, which is exactly a lot of what we're starting to see now. People who have put the likes of Deepak Chopra up on a pedestal, people who put Doreen Virtue up on a pedestal as being all knowing and holding these great levels of wisdom. And then, whoa, what in the world am I supposed to do now when that whole illusion is shattered? So, what happened to me is this spiritual teacher, she, there was a part of her that I found out wasn't exactly so nice, didn't exactly always have honorable intentions. And that was very, very surprising to me. I thought, how could I not, like, where did that come from? And how come I didn't see that sooner? And what does this mean now? Well, it's a very, very big lesson, and a very, very important lesson to learn, because it is a part of humanity's evolution of consciousness and moving out of the state of how we once were to, which is putting all of our trust and faith in the outside world, all of our trust and faith in somebody else, holding somebody at a higher level than you, right? Putting them up on that pedestal. There's nobody in this world that we should be putting up on a pedestal. It doesn't matter who they are, what level of income they have, where they live, you know, none of that matters. When you put somebody up on a pedestal, there are major lessons to learn in that. And I got that major lesson. I didn't even realize I'd had my spiritual teacher up on a pedestal, but I did. Um, and boy, when I could see different aspects of her come through, that wasn't how I knew her to be or thought of her. That was very, very surprising, very surprising. Um, and that's what a lot of people are going through right now. I just saw somebody who was, I guess, a close colleague of Deepak Chopra, or who he wrote the foreword in her book. And, you know, she was like a doctor in something, and she did this video. She wanted to address the situation. I was listening to this video, and she was like, so what happened was very terrible, but um, Deepak, can you please address us here, share with us why it is you did what you did, you know, what happened there? And I'm thinking to myself, what are you talking about? It doesn't matter why he did what he did. You see, you had put so much stock in faith in who he is, and probably hung on every word of his, that your life has just been shattered to pieces now because, wow, this person, you know, is not who they say they are. What is that going to matter? Why he did what he did? Well, clearly he's got some issues going on. Clearly there are some aspects of himself that need to be resolved. And that's why he did what he did. Nobody is above being human. Nobody. And it's going to be playing out in different ways. But you see, when you know, she needed that from him, like, help us all feel better so we can understand. No, you help yourself feel better. What does your guidance have to say to you about why that happened? And most importantly, how it's affecting you? That's the real answer. Why is it affecting me like this? Oh my goodness, you know, what is it within me that needs something from him to make me feel better? No, no, that's not, that is still playing under the old suppressed way of being, where you're looking to somebody else to make you feel better, where it is you're looking for somebody else to please explain. No, what this is showing us is where it is we've been reliant on that outside world, where it is we've put stock in everybody else and everything else except for ourselves. That's what this, if you are going through this experience where you're just so shaken up, you don't know what to do with yourself now, that is there to show you where it is you are not trusting yourself, turning to your own inner wisdom, that part of you that is never disconnected from the divine, allowing the divine to show you what needs to be seen, to explain the dynamic there, and you know, how it is you're feeling about it, what it is you need to see within yourself about it. That's really what it comes down to. It has nothing to do with Deepak Chopra and the like, you know, other people. It has everything to do with you. Where is it that you are putting so much faith and stock in somebody else? Where is it that you are not looking inward, turning inward, connecting to your own wisdom to tell you what your own truth is? Where is it that you are not believing in that connection within yourself? So, you know, that's the thing. These people played a part in our lives, in our own evolution, right? Maybe there are things that you like to listen to with Deepak Chopra, or maybe another spiritual teacher. There's plenty of spiritual teachers that claim that they're spiritual and they're not really that conscious, or they're not walking the walk and talking the talk and living the life it is they're preaching out there. There are many people in all walks of life that do that. But I'm focusing on, the quote unquote spiritual thought leaders in the world that have high followings, etc. Um, and so they may have taught you something, which is wonderful, just like that spiritual teacher helped me open up my spiritual gifts, which is wonderful. But you see, that's the limitation of the mind. You are thinking that that's the only way it is that they're going to be supporting your evolution and your own ascension. And it's not. You see, when they change course, or something comes out that's devastating, let's say that they've done that you've perceived as devastating, that's also them being a teacher. You see, they're not just here to teach you in one way. It doesn't have to look one way and that's where it stops and stays. No, they are still teaching through, through unpleasantries that you may experience with them, right? So if you're somebody who are really upset about this whole Deepak Chopra thing, it's more of an awareness, like, wow, oh, him too. Oh my goodness, look at that. Isn't that interesting? Wow, isn't that something? It's more, it's, and when you see it from that place, it just reaffirms your own ability to connect into your own levels of truth. That's what that's showing you, that you're not caught up in, hung up on, reliant on, dependent on that person, or that person. But these people are playing still very important roles. There may be beautiful things that you learn from him or another spiritual teacher. And that's wonderful. There are some great things. I like listening to him from time to time. I liked his meditations, etc. But I don't, we're not supposed to just put everything into them, and if you are jolted by that, by what happened here, then he's still teaching you, and he's teaching you more about yourself than on a deeper level than perhaps some of his other pieces of work, because something like this will get you to turn inward. It will get you to turn inward and ask those questions. Wow, what in the world happened here? How come I'm so affected by this? Why am I feeling this way? What is this here to show me? Those are the questions it is that we need to be asking ourselves. And the same happened with Doreen Virtue. I saw people go up in arms. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? Well, what you're going to do now is learn, how to trust and believe in yourself. That's what you're going to do now. That's what the next step is, to see where it is you gave your power away. That's like one of the greatest gifts they could give to you, to me, to us, to those who have maybe experienced this before. Okay, so so it'll be very, very interesting to see the other people that have been a part of this very deep, dark, intricate network of just the most terrible atrocities, and it spans across every aspect of our lives. There are doctors and lawyers and teachers and spiritual thought leaders and politicians. It just runs so deep. And that is, anyways, yeah. That's all I'll share for now, but I thought it was important to kind of address that. And so hope that supports. All right. Bye for now.